Hi everyone, it's MaryAnn and welcome to my very first weekly live Facebook weekly oh my gosh weekly live event on Facebook in this group MaryAnn's Whimsical Art World. So if you don't know me, I'm MaryAnn. I am a visual artist and my current series of work is featuring my original characters PenguinGirl and Pengzilla, and I guess this one's not finished. It's almost finished, not quite yet, but there is PenguinGirl, and that is Pengzilla, and that is Penguin. Yeah, and so this is a series that I guess it's something that I've been exploring for a while now, just PenguinGirl, and then Pengzilla kind of appeared sometime like early last year, end of 2020. There's a whole story on how he appeared as well, which I will get into another time. But basically, I am like an illustrator. I'm also like a painter. I also have done short film, and in some sense, I'm still trying to figure out how to define myself as an artist, but I will definitely say that I am a visual artist, that's for sure. I'm a visual artist, traditional media most of the time, almost all of the time really, and I'm exploring a lot about, I guess, being yourself, being your true self, and also living the life that truly matters to you. And a lot of my work is then inspired by my journey and the stuff that I'm musing about, the stuff that I'm trying to figure out. And even this whole series of PenguinGirl and Pengzilla in the master artist artworks, that also has a lot to do with that whole process of trying to figure out who I am and what am I about, not just as an artist, but even as a person, the bigger question of like, who are we and what are we doing here? So I started using this like green color pencil to sketch, and the purpose of me using that green was just because I don't normally use green, but I decided for some reason I wanted to use the green color pencil to like just to use it up, since I never use it in my work. And somehow, like, after using it in the sketchbook, I just really liked how it looked, and so it became like the base for all these new series of works. So this is what it would actually look like before the colors go in. So I started using like the light green color pencil to just sketch in things, and then I used the darker one to kind of finalize the lines. And then I tried to use my eraser to erase. But I think the whole purpose of why I decided to use the color pencil to draw is to remove that need for perfection, because every time I use a pencil and I draw a line and it doesn't look right, it's like, oh, quickly get the eraser out and erase it. And with color pencils, I can kind of erase it, but not fully, so the mistakes are still kind of there. So I guess I'm in the process now of trying to embrace making a bit of mistakes and letting the works have a bit more of a mess in them, even though they still don't turn out that messy in the end. But I think that's just my perfectionistic thing. So this another like other sketches. So these smaller ones are usually like so-called like my testing test images, I guess. So they are not really part of the series, but they're like the process of testing things out before I actually draw them on the A4 paper. So one that I'm currently in progress, like still making progress on, is this piece. So if you can see, like it's actually inspired by a painting by Renee Magritte. Again, don't know if I'm saying the name right. And this painting, the original painting, is called Son of Man, and I will show it to you in a second, and you'll probably totally recognize what it is. But basically, I've included PenguinGirl and Penguin and Pengzilla in there, and it's not quite clear yet, but Pengzilla is basically pulling, PenguinGirl is holding this balloon, and Pengzilla is like pulling it, so it's blocking her face. And the inspiration for that is, wait for it. The inspiration is this painting. So it's called Son of Man by Renee Magritte. And so I've actually done something similar before based on this painting, like in 2018 when I first started this whole like putting PenguinGirl in famous paintings. But this time round I'm actually more, I kind of, for that previous one I was more, focused on trying to make this colorful landscape behind. But this time round I've actually, kept to the green, blue, yellow scheme, and for some reason like I did not expect this, but these colors have become like my thing now. So which is kind of strange for me because they're just not the usual colors that I would use. While I was drawing that one, I got another idea, which is to do like a 3-paneled version of the same painting. But so each one of them has the same background as the original painting, but I have like, putting them together, it's like a 3-in-1 kind of scene. I don't know, a lot of times I get these ideas and I try not to like rationalize what it could mean or what I'm trying to express, because the moment I start rationalizing, that's where the meaning and the expression doesn't really come across. And it always works best when I just like don't think too much, just run with it, and then with the end result somehow it's beyond what I would expect. So that's what I'm trying to do with these ones, like not think too much about it. And I'm also learning to, again, embrace like doing something different and making a bit of a mess, and not worrying that it's not going to turn out perfect or something. So yeah, so what I'm seeing with a lot of this is that, art is a way for us to explore like what lies beyond our logical and practical reality. And, for me personally, I like this whole whimsical, dreamlike kind of art because I guess personally I've always been like a daydreamer, and there's this whole idea of, there are magical worlds out there and other realms out there that I would love to explore. But, being physically bound in this plane here on Earth, then art becomes this outlet for me to explore these ideas, and it's almost like, through my art I go on this adventure into worlds beyond what our 5 senses can experience here. And for me also, like, what I'm seeing is that art is an opportunity that we get connected to our imaginations, our dreams, our emotions, and who we really are underneath all those masks that we have to wear in our day-to-day life, in how, interacting with all the people in the world around us. Again, because, we are weird and we are strange and we are odd, and if we don't wear these masks, then, we can't survive in the world. But, ultimately these masks, even though they are part of who we are, they are not really who we are. And art for me is a way to get connected to these parts of ourselves, like get connected and also celebrate these, like, our inner weirdos and the strange parts of ourselves, and learning how to love and embrace them more and more every single day. And so, again, when you look at art, it's more important how you feel when you look at it, rather than like knowing all the art history behind it. It's really what it makes you feel, what do you connect with, and it helps to know the history, it helps to know the background, but ultimately it is still a personal experience. And you want to look at like what does it remind you of, and where does it take you, like what kind of places does it take you to. Thank you again for watching. I am so glad you're here. Even if you're watching the replay, thank you also for watching. I am really, really glad that you all are here and part of my whimsical art world. I love sharing my journey and my journey as I figure it out through my art with you. And I hope that it also gives you some insights into discovering more about yourself and what really matters to you. And ultimately, figuring out what is it that you really want to express in the world that is uniquely your own. And loving yourself as the weirdo, for the weirdo that you are.